So today's video is clearly something a little different. I am actually in my living room right now on my couch, which is a futon. I wanted to do this in a place that was a little bit more comfortable, and also it's really late and I didn't feel like sitting in front of a bunch of bright lights. I thought my ring light would do the trick with some candles, and yeah. So today's video, if you hadn't already read the title, is going to be kind of the prologue into my breast reduction surgery. I did agree to vlog the entire thing, obviously not the actual surgery, but you know, the rest of it, and also keep updates on my recovery and all of that. Because I am military, there is a lot that goes behind that. There was a lot that I had to go through to get this approved through Tricare, which is the military's insurance. When I was looking on YouTube and looking online, trying to find other people in my situation, it was just really difficult. I honestly found more people from a beauty group that I'm in. I honestly found more girls in there that were active duty who had done this than I did anywhere else. The only problem was that they were Air Force. About 90% of them were Air Force, so they couldn't really help me as far as, you know, Navy side went. So I decided that, one, the girls wanted to know because there were a lot of them that were interested in this, and then also I couldn't find information when I needed it. So I kind of want to put it out there, so in case there is another active duty female in the Navy that is having the same issues, then maybe my experience will help you and give you some guidance on that. I also have music playing. You guys know how I am when I do these little chit chats and I, you know, start talking about personal things, and then makeup, I have to create like a comfort zone, like a safe zone. And so you'll hear a little bit of John Mayer in the background, just my phone playing. So to start, oh Lord. All right, well, let's go back to puberty. I hit puberty very early. Well, not very early. I guess at a normal age. 12 was when I first had my first period. As soon as that happened, obviously, as all girls know, or at least the majority of us, you hit puberty and everything changes. And my body just went from being a twig. I was really tall and really slender, and all of a sudden I started filling out in the hips, and I got stretch marks in my hips at 13, and I had a big old bubble butt, and obviously my boobs started coming in. And I remember being probably about 14, 15, somewhere in there. I had C cups, and then by the time I was in high school, I had D's. And then in my early 20s, by the time I went to boot camp and joined the Navy, I was actually double D when I got out of boot camp. So yeah, they just kept getting bigger. The first time I was ever pregnant, they went from a double D to a triple D. And for the longest time, I kept convincing myself I still had triple Ds. And I didn't. I'm sitting at, right now, a 36F/34G, depending on, you know, my band size. It kind of fluctuates depending on the bra style. Over the years, it's definitely taken its toll, and then with my job and my work, it just kind of sped up a process that was going to happen eventually on its own, but it made it worse quicker, and probably made it worse than it was going to be on its own. So in the military, I'm in the Navy. I am a Master Arm, which translates to military police security type of thing. So we wear flak jackets. At my old command, I was there for 4 years, and we wore flak jackets that had sappy plates in them, which were very heavy. We wore those the entire time, and the first 2 years is when I had the most problems in the military as far as my body went. Just because you go from being a civilian, and then your first 2 years in the military, you're doing a very hard-working, at least on your body, kind of job, and going up towers every day, and, you know, walking around with all this gear. It was 100+ pounds of gear every day, and it takes a toll on you after a while. So in the first 2 years, I not only had problems with my back, but also my knees. The mentality there, though, was to take ibuprofen and just keep trucking. You know, they didn't really take kindly to down days, and in the military, it's hard to explain. I won't get into this because it's a completely separate topic, but as a female, it's very hard to go down for anything, because the second you're down, which just means you're not working, because in our line of work you have to be fit for full to do anything. Honestly, it's not like an office job. Like, you have to be able to physically do things to do your job, and if you can't, then you're not obviously armed up or working. But the second a female goes down for whatever reason, it could be you got freaking pneumonia or bronchitis or something ridiculous, there will be a rumor that you're pregnant, guaranteed, every time, or that you're malingering if you stay down too long. Like, if you were too sick, it'll happen. And after being in for so long, it's not something that actively bothers me. I just try to avoid being in that group, and you do that by killing yourself, basically, which I don't advise at all. But you kind of have to build up a reputation for not being like that, and that was pretty much what I did. Is I didn't go down for any of that. So you don't go down. The only time I went down for my back when I was at that command was when I sprained my lumbar, which came from wearing the gear. That was kind of my first run-in with the back pain that really caused me to kind of hit the brakes and start doing things differently. And the back pain didn't really get bad until 2014, 2015. I've been in for 7 years now, so this was after so I was in for about 5 years when it really started to hit me. I'm in a different command now where we wear basically police vests. They're second chance vests. They're not really thin, but they're a lot thinner than a flak jacket. So you wear them under your blouse, so you can't really see them. They're not like on the outside or anything. So they're very light. There's not a lot of gear you wear. You wear, a guard belt with your gun on it, which can pull at your back. We've got straps for that too, just in case. I don't wear those. I wear a thigh holster, so that doesn't really matter. But it kind of holds you like a corset. And because my boobs were so big, it was very hard for me to find a vest that fits and that was comfortable, because in the summer here, it's in Georgia, and it gets very hot and you get swamp ass, but instead of swamp ass, it's swamp boobs. And it gets so uncomfortable that it was to the point where I would be at work in a patrol car, patrolling, doing like a, perimeter check, going around the outside of the base and just kind of making sure like nothing was going on. And I would have to stop the car, and I would literally Hulk out, and I would just rip, because it's Velcroed on your shoulders together, and I would seriously just throw it across the car and sit here like this with the AC blowing on me, panting. And there were times where, as much as I might sound like, a little bitch, but I was sitting there crying with tears of just frustration and anger, and I just wanted to do my job. Like, I just wanted to be in my car doing my job without having to worry about running into the station 12,000 times a day and taking everything off and putting it back on and readjusting my boobs and making sure that I could still move. And it got to the point where I had to sacrifice things. I had to literally tighten it so much that it was like a corset. And by the end of the day, my back hurt so bad that when I got home, all I could do was lay down. Like, I couldn't work out. I didn't do back day for like a year and a half straight because it hurt so much. It's been quite the struggle. And all throughout this, every time I went to the doctor about it, if they would just throw ibuprofen at me and tell me it's inflammation. They never once, poked and prodded around. They never once did x-rays. Nada. They just threw ibuprofen at me and told me it was, ice it. Put some heat on it. It'll be fine. So, fast forward to last year. Last year in, I want to say like the summer, I finally went to the doctor, and after talking to my chain of command, he had recommended me go talk to one of the old commanding officers of sorts, like the officer in charge of medical, because he was a really good guy. I'd personally met him before. He was really great. And he literally told me out of his own mouth, someone who had ran a medical clinic and had been in, he had retired at this point, he now works out in the hospital out in town. He literally told me, you cannot go in there and tell them that you know what the issue is. He's like, I know you know what the issue is, and I can tell you right now that I agree 100% that this is what it is, but you can't go tell them that. He was like, because they're going to think that you're just trying to take advantage of the system. And so you have to go in and just keep claiming your back. And I was like, well, I've already been in there several times over the years, my back. He's like, no, go in there every week if you have to, and just annoy the shit out of them and just say it's your back. and I didn't even make it through the first appointment before losing my shit and just going off on a tangent about my boobs. Like, I literally walked in there with the intention of being like, you know, it's my back, which I did. I started off, my back hurts. And then I happened to mention, like, I started a new workout where I'm doing back days and I'm strengthening my back, so it's not a muscle problem. It's not like my muscles are just too weak or anything like that, because they always try to say that. They try to say you weigh too much, or if you weigh a lot in your muscle and you work out, then they want to say it was your workout. So he goes, oh, you started a new workout regimen, so maybe it's your workouts. I have worked out for a long time, okay? I know the difference between a workout sore and a my back is going to fall apart sore. And it was just really annoying to hear, and I lost it. I lost it. I was still respectful because it was still, you know, a naval officer, but I literally lost it on him, and I was like, no, it's not. It's my boobs. And he kind of stopped and looked at me like, what? And I was like, it's my boobs. They're too big. And I've had this issue for years, and every time I come in here, you guys tell me the same thing every time. I was like, but that one is definitely a new one. No one has ever told me it's my workout. And I was like, look, it's my boobs. They're too big, and I lost my cool. And I just kind of explained to him, like, look, I know what the problem is. I have all these symptoms. I've Googled it. I've researched it. I've talked to other people. I am the perfect candidate for this. And it's getting to the point where I cannot do my job. And I was like, my chain of command is behind me on this. I've talked to them. I was like, I just need a referral. That is all I'm here for. And this mofo sent me to a physical therapist for posture correction, of all fucking things. I went because he said he had never done it before. He'd never sent anyone to you know, get the surgery before, so he wasn't really quite sure how to do it. So he was, you need to go to physical therapy to prove that you've tried everything for this. He's like, you've been to physical therapy for your knees, but not your back. And I was like, okay, good point. Fine, I'll go to physical therapy, but I want the referral after physical therapy. It does not work, because I knew it wasn't gonna work. Because you can't fix, like, yeah, I have bad posture. You're right, I do. But you can't fix the posture until you take off the weight on my chest that's causing me to have bad posture. Because if I try to have good posture with tits the size of a planet, it doesn't work. It hurts, and it's not possible, okay? So I go to physical therapy. I made it to the 3rd appointment. I did 2 full appointments, and I was in so much pain, you guys, like, I can't even explain it. And by the 3rd time, I was in so much pain when I would go to work. So I would have my appointments on off days, and then on days that I worked, putting on the vest and having to work all day in that, I was in so much pain when I would come home. Like, I would be in tears. Like, I couldn't do anything that involved actively bending over and picking things up, or it just wasn't working. I literally went in the 3rd time, and I definitely did have a breakdown that time. And I just told her, I was like, look, I was like, I know what the problem is. I was like, I'm in so much pain, and I can't keep doing physical therapy and keep working. I was like, if I have to keep physical therapy, then I have to stop working, because I can't do it. I was like, but I refuse to do that, because I know what the issue is, and there's no reason to make someone else work extra when they don't need to, because I know what the problem is. So she's like, you know, I completely understand. I know what you're going through. I know it's hard. Like, just keep fighting for it, and, you know, I'll talk to the doctor, yada, yada, yada. So I make an appointment with my PCM to let him know what's up. I go in. She hadn't talked to him yet. So I tell him, look, I'm not doing physical therapy anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna go out of town and do it myself, pay for it myself, because I cannot handle doing physical therapy and working at the same time. It just isn't gonna happen, and I refuse to go down for it. And I was like, if the Navy's just really not gonna help me out here, then fine, I'll just fucking scrape up the pennies and do it myself. Like, I was so frustrated and hopeless and just broken down after so many years of being in pain. Like, that kind of pain, just, you get used to it, and then at the one point you lose the fight against dealing with it, and you just have breakdowns, and that's where I was. So during that appointment, he said something that infuriated me and caused me to change my doctor, which was, he lied. He had told me in the first appointment, if you remember, that he had never done an appointment like this. He'd never given someone a referral for a breast reduction. So he needed to figure out how to do it. When I went back, less than 2 weeks later, he said, oh yeah, that's probably a better idea to do it on your own, because everyone I've put in for it gets denied. I'm I'm sorry, I thought you said you'd never done this before. Oh, you know what I mean. Yeah, I know you're a fucking liar and a piece of shit doctor, and you shouldn't be here doing this. I immediately went home, pissed the fuck off, obviously, changed my doctor over Tricare. You like change your doctor on Tricare. And then I went to my chain of command. I went back to my master chief and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do it this way. And my chain of command was like, we'll totally support you. We will give you convalescent leave. We'll handle everything. Like even if it's not medical sanctified, like we'll handle it. So I went to a chiropractor, and when you go to a chiropractor, one of the first things they do is they talk to you, obviously, but then they x-ray you so they can see what the problems are, if there is any, if your spine's different, if there's anything they need to focus on type of thing, and to make sure there's no pre-existing conditions that they're not going to further, you know, hurt by doing the chiropractic. So I go in, I pay $250 of my own money to get x-rays. As she's doing the x-rays, I'm obviously looking at them. I've never seen x-rays before, so it was really awesome. I'm sitting here staring at the x-rays as they're coming up on the thing, and I'm staring at it, and it just didn't look right. Like there was just something off about the x-rays. And so I asked the lady, she kind of like turned and looked at me, and I was like, is it my imagination, or is it not supposed to look like that? And she was like, oh honey, no, it's not supposed to look like that. So I'm gonna show you, we're about to get real personal because you guys are about to see my insides. I actually really like just using my ring light for lighting. This lighting is bomb. Anyway, so you guys are about to see my insides, x-ray version. So in your neck, you can Google this. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm going off of just what they said. So your neck is supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be curved, like a slight C. That's its natural form. This is what mine looks like right here. Do you see how, ignore the stain, I think it's like a tea stain or something, but you see how straight this is? Like it's perfectly straight. And then at the very top right here, where the atlas is, it goes forward a little bit. And this is caused from my chest pulling forward. So my back humps, you see my little hump here? I hate that thing so much. It's literally on the back of my neck where like your lower C is. I think it's like C6 or C7 or something. And it's a huge like humpback. I hate it so much. And it's right here. And that is literally caused from muscles overworking because all this is getting pulled forward. So my neck, instead of going slanting forward like this, it pushes backwards. So where there used to be a C, now it's being forced into a straight line. And it's actually starting to warp forward. So not normal, not what it's supposed to look like by any means. And it just, I can't explain it. Like it felt so relieving. It felt like this huge weight was off my chest because I had proof. I had physical evidence. I had a picture showing you my inside saying, look, there is something wrong. This is not supposed to look like this. And after 6 years of people telling you you're crazy and you should take ibuprofen and it's all in your head and treating you like fucking an idiot, it's so satisfying to be able to shove it in their face that they're fucking wrong. Like, I can't even tell you how amazing that is. So, if you want to see something really cool, I'll show you guys my intestines. Those are intestines right there, by the way. So this is all normal. What's not normal is this. This is my spine, like head on. So you've got my hips here. I don't know if you can really see it, but my hip. So this is my right side, this is my left side. So my left side has always been like, it kind of looks like I'm like tilted over to the side all the time. This is why. Because I have a muscle spasm that's attached to this hip that constantly pulls it upward. So if you look, it's not completely, it doesn't line up with the other hip. And the second time, this was the first time I got x-rayed. When I went in for the second time, they re-x-rayed me in a couple spots just to see a little bit more clearly. And my hip was actually that day a lot higher. It was almost a full inch higher. And that's what the doctor was trying to explain to me. He was like, this is why during my physical therapy, they told me that I had one leg that was slightly longer. It's not naturally supposed to be like that. It was my body overcompensating. And that's why my hips always hurt. And that's why it's a reason for a lot of things. But so here's my spine. And as you can see, it looks like it's curved. Like if you look at it, like It's supposed to be straight, but it looks like it slightly curves this side, and I thought it meant scoliosis. Obviously, not the case. Not the case at all. The case is that my spine isn't crooked like scoliosis does. Scoliosis is your spine is straight and it's like facing the normal positions, but it curves, you know? Mine was twisted. So I went to my chain of command and I went straight to my master chief and I showed him the x-rays and I was like, this is what's wrong. I was like, I have proof now. He's like, go to the doctor and tell them that if they do not give you the referral, he's like, I will personally walk up to the CO and we will take the entire chain of command down on medical. And I was just like, you ain't gonna tell me twice. Like, I'm totally down with that. So it definitely helps to have a chain of command that backs you. And I would definitely go to someone, if you're in the military and you're active duty military, I would definitely find someone you trust high enough that they have a little bit of power to throw around and go to them about it and just have a heart to heart. Like, some people don't trust chain of command, and I do understand it, but with something like this, it's so worth it. Like, it is so worth it to fight for it. And so I made an appointment with my doctor. I went back in, and this was the new doctor. I hadn't seen him yet. This was with my old doctor. And I went in and he was like, so what am I seeing you for? Because on the thing, it was basically just like a follow-up because I'd been in before for my back. And I literally sat down and I had x-rays in my hand and I was like, I want a referral for breast reduction. And I was like, and this is the reason why. And then I told him the whole story about how I'd just been in with a different doctor, what had happened, how he lied to me, had the years of coming in, the freaking boob strap. Like, I have permanent, I don't know if you guys can see it, you can probably, but I can feel it where my traps are. So where my traps are, there's an indent, permanent on both sides, and it's from my bra strap. And I showed him the x-rays and I told him everything, and I was like, look, I'm not a doctor, but I've had these boobs for a really long time, and these issues didn't happen until I started putting more weight on my upper body with the vest and the backpacks and all that stuff. I was like, look, I know what the problem is. I just need someone to give me a referral. That's all I'm asking for. So I went in there with everything. I showed him the x-rays. I told him I'd already been to a plastic surgeon and I was good to go for the surgery, that I was a super good candidate for it. Told him my entire chain of command was behind me and that if it didn't happen, that I was bringing my entire chain of command with me next time. And then told him the chiropractor deal, told him everything. And at the end of it, he was like, you know, he's like, obviously, he's like, as a doctor, I can't tell you that this is exactly what it is. He's like, it could be a number of reasons. He's like, but based on everything you've told me, based on these x-rays, he's like, I would say that you are 95% right and that this is probably what it is. Because doctors don't know until they try something, so they'll never say, like, this is what it is. They guess it's that and they try to treat it, and if it doesn't work, then they try something else. So I understand where he's coming from. But he gave me the referral. It took 5 minutes. It was a 5-minute appointment. And when he told me that, he's like, all right, he's like, I'll go ahead and write you the referral. I just kind of said, I was like, what? did you just say you give me a referral? He's like, yeah, that's what you came here for, right? I was like, yeah, but I didn't think you'd give me one. I was like, I really thought I was going to have to come back with, you know, my CO or something, or, you know, hold a gun to your head or something. Like, I did not think it would be that easy. And he was like, well, from what you tell me, it wasn't really that easy. And I was like, well, you get what I mean, like with you. And so he gave me the referral right then and there. And within a few days, it was in the system. I was tracking it like a maniac through Humana, which is a portal. It's Humana Military Beneficiary. And you can go in there and literally see your referral when it gets approved. The way the process works, to my understanding, because I've just been kind of like picking it up as I go, is that they will put out a feeler. So they'll send out like, hey, this one female needs a breast reduction or a consultation for breast reduction, and then an office out in town will then pick that up. They have 24 hours to respond and accept and say, yes, we have the room for the appointment. We'll go ahead and book her. And if they don't, then it goes out to another company, or, you know, until someone accepts it. And mine got accepted here by Renew Plastic Surgery, I think is the name. And a week later, after having my appointment, getting my referral, I was at the doctor's office and did my consult. And obviously I went in with just PT clothes on, and then they make you wear like a little like gown thing, but it's like a halter top. It's kind of weird. And then he'll like open it up and like look at your breasts and see like what's all bad about them and like all that stuff. And I had literally every single check. Like if you go to a website and they tell you like what makes you a good candidate for breast reduction, I had every single one of them. Every single check in the box. So he, you know, messes with the boobs. No big deal. The guy was really nice. He was talking to me about, you know, Chicago and just random stuff, making me really comfortable. He kind of asked me like, you know, what size you want to be at and all of that stuff. And I kind of explained to him like, I want to go as small as possible. Like literally as small as you can possibly make me without giving me pancake boob. And he was like, I think we can get you where you want to be, honestly. And I was like, yes, I'm okay with that. So I liked him immediately, and then after he was done with that and he gave me all the information they were going to send in, I gave them copies of my x-rays so they could send that in with the package to Tricare, and then they also took pictures of the neck below of my breast and of the indents because I've been wearing a sports bra all day. They took pictures of the indents in my shoulders and did like a little info thing real quick, and they sent that off to Tricare, and I called Tricare probably 3 to 5 days later. They got it and it was approved within 1 day. I set up my pre-op appointment, which was on the 20th, the day after my birthday. I went to my appointments and did my pre-op, and they give you a packet. So they give you this huge packet and it's got the soap you're supposed to wash before, all the information you need to know about pre-op. They give you your medication, and they give you an anti-nausea pill. But yeah, so now I have my surgery planned for May 10th. And Colin, if you don't know, is my boyfriend of 3 years. He's also military. He's currently stationed in Oklahoma, where we bought a house. If you didn't already know that, if you're new to my channel and you're just here for the boob story. He is coming in a week. Not this upcoming week, but the week after that. He gets here on that Wednesday, on the 4th. So we'll have a couple days pre-op to spend some quality time together. Then my mom gets here that weekend. And then Monday is my pre-op day, and then Tuesday is my surgery, and I go in. I don't know what time. They said they actually call you the day before, which I thought was a little strange, but she said it's because of like last minute emergency situations. They never really know what time your surgery is, so they'll call me the day before and let me know. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is already going to be a long video. Oh, if you're doing this, I saw this in a couple of videos, and some of the girls said they got asked this question, and I just want to put it out there as a note of advice. Do not worry about the scars. Like if you're worrying about the scars, you're worrying if your boyfriend, your husband, or anyone is going to give a shit about them, then you're not emotionally or mentally mature enough to have this surgery. Because trust me, when you get to the point that they hurt so bad and they cause you so much heartache and pain, and you can't even freaking do normal things or wear normal clothes or do any of that, and it becomes a mental game, when you get to that point, you're not going to give two fucks about what anyone cares about your scars. You'll be like, you know what, you can fucking deal with it, because I'm the one that's got the boobs, I'm the one that has to deal with the pain, and I'm the one who has to go through it. So if there is a dude in your life, or a woman, or anyone in your life telling you, oh, don't do it, your scars, you're gonna be so gross, ew, ugly, boobs, whatever, frankentits, whatever they want to fucking call you, tell them to fuck off and ignore them, because it is your life, it is your body, it is your pain, and if you care about the scars that much, then you don't get it, because you're not ready for it. When you're ready for the surgery, you're not going to give two shits about scars or anything like that. Like, I've thought about it off and on, and each time I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care about the scars. I honestly wouldn't care if I was flat chested. You can take them all the way off, make me a man, and I would be perfectly happy. I want to be able to wear a shirt without a bra. Like, that is my goal. That is my goal with these boobs, is just cut them off so much that I can wear a t-shirt and no bra, and no one can know the difference. Like, that's all I ask. I don't think that's too much to ask, really. But yeah, don't worry about the scars. Don't worry, they fade in time. Like, I hate that people really care about other people's opinions on their body. Like, your body is just a body, okay? If it's causing you pain, fix it and then move on. It doesn't matter what it looks like at the end of the day. It matters about functionality. It's like a car. You shouldn't care about what the car looks like. You should care if the thing fucking drives you around or not. Not that, you know, we do because of the day and age we live in, but just do it if you need to do it. Don't worry about anyone else. On the last note, I did get a different camera, because one of the biggest problems with planning this was vlogging. I've never vlogged before, so I was kind of nervous, and also after the surgery I can't carry heavy things and I'm gonna be weak, and so I'm gonna be trying to vlog with this big ass DSLR and it's not gonna work out very well. So I went and I splurged a little bit, and I called it a birthday gift to make myself feel less guilty, because I always feel guilty when I spend a lot of money on things. And I got the Canon G7X camera. It's gonna be my first time vlogging. I'll vlog a little bit that weekend probably. Maybe even a little bit with Colin, so you guys can get to know Colin a little bit. A little bit more than his cameos in my random videos. And with my mom, and just kind of like the pre-op situation. I'm sure the days leading up to the surgery I will be very emotional, very spazzy, usual. And but I'll vlog a little bit that weekend, and then I'll definitely vlog the pre-op day before my surgery, and keep you guys updated on everything that is going on. And then of course I will film the day of the surgery, and then probably after I wake up it'll be Colin filming for me, and I'll just keep you guys updated from then on out through the recovery and once I get to Oklahoma and all of that. Hopefully this isn't too long or too boring, and if you are active duty military females out there, I hope that this helps you. I hope that this whole series helps you. If this is something you're wanting to do, or even if you're not active duty military and you don't have to bother with Tricare, I hope it helps you. And yeah, so if there's any questions, and I'm dead serious, any questions at all that you guys have for me, I am going to be an open book as much as I can with this. I'm not going to get on here and show you my tits, guys. Just in case you're wondering, there's not going to be any boobies in here. I might do some close-up shots of the actual sutures, or I might show you the drainage plugs and stuff like that, but you're not gonna see boobs. So if there's any like creepy guys out there trying to stalk my channel for, you know, a free tit shot, then you're out of luck, bud. So sorry about that. If you're interested in seeing, you know, how they look and all that stuff, then you are more than welcome to go on Google and Google breast reduction before and after. They have thousands of photos. And that's literally what I did. Like, I was making so much fun of me, and people at work were just like, what are you doing? Just like, researching, like it's totally normal. But I was seriously just staring at pages of boobs for days on end. And yeah, so again, if you have any questions for me, or if you want me to talk about something specific or film something specific, then as always, I am open to suggestions and all of that. Just leave comments below. That's pretty much it. I have nothing else to talk about. So I'm going to stop talking then, I guess. I'm really tired. It's so late now. I hope that the future series in this, or the future posts in this series, help you guys. And I hope you guys stay tuned if you're interested. I'll talk to you guys later in my next video. Bye guys.